They feel like the split-second flash, or like the flicker on a black and white movie screen. It's just this really, really quick feeling.
Seizures may come from different areas.
One seizure can look completely different from another.
There is no one cause, but every seizure has this in common.
It's a manifestation of an electrical short circuit in the brain.
My name is Stacia. I'm 31 years old, and I had my first seizure at the start of my junior year here at the University of Minnesota. I was running cross country and track for the Gophers, living with teammates and friends. I had support from a great family, and I felt healthy. But then my life changed forever. Just out of the blue, I was in my apartment and had a tonic-clonic seizure, known as a grand mal. 9 years later, a seizure turned my life and career upside down. I met a new doctor, and it was after one of my appointments when I got the idea to do this documentary. So my goal to explain what sparks a brainstorm and why it causes people to do strange things they have zero control over. But there was another more personal reason I wanted to do this. For some of this documentary, my sister Sarah turned the camera on me, and being interviewed by her made me confront things about myself. I had always told myself seizures weren't a big deal, and I wasn't going to let them interfere with my life. But seizures are a big deal. Epilepsy affects 3 million Americans, and that's about the size of the Twin Cities. I met two of those people, fighting different, but in many ways similar battles. They taught me a lot about epilepsy and myself.
Hey, that right there now is what it's all about.
One was a college football coach who faced heartbreaking national attention for his epilepsy.
I've been called, freak and everything else.
Another is a young boy named Billy. He has a number of health issues, but nothing compared to the epilepsy, which has threatened his life.
Sometimes when he starts taking his glasses off and doing that, can be an indicator that he might be feeling something coming on. Billy, to me, is a very outgoing kid, very lovable, very huggable.
But socially, he's a couple years behind his peers, and then with the epilepsy, he has a hard time doing stuff that everyone else can do.
Most weather is associated with the boundaries.
I'll tell you about Billy and Coach Kill in a little bit, but I should probably tell you my story first. I've always been an athlete, played a few sports growing up, and came to love running. I had a couple of seizures in college, but then they stopped. So I just thought, hey, I'm fine. Or so I thought. I left Minnesota with my journalism degree feeling healthy and was excited to start my first TV job in Nebraska. There, a few seizures popped up.
And then 2 years later, in 2009, I moved to Oregon, and that's when the seizures started to come.
I still didn't know I had epilepsy, but my friend and coworker Kate knew I was having problems.
At the station, you had a pretty big one. I think you fell over, your head hit like a pillar and actually peeled off some of the plaster.
Kate stepped in and called my mom, and that led me to seeing a neurologist. I was given an anticonvulsant, which came with bad side effects, so I got off it. It was affecting my job. I then got a new reporting job in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2012.
Student homelessness started increasing when the economy nosedived, causing foreclosures and evictions. We are right across the river from the Fifth Third Ballpark.
And that's when I found a leading epileptologist. Dr. Brian Smith officially diagnosed me with epilepsy.
So this is your typical recording of brainwaves using scalp electrodes.
Dr. Smith admitted me to the epilepsy monitoring unit at Spectrum Health Hospital for a week. He's chief of neurology and a nationally recognized epileptologist. Dr. Smith spent a week recording my seizures to learn where they were coming from. And I learned that Dr. Smith has fought his own battle.
When I was a teenager, was having weird feelings, didn't know what they were, to the point where they could even alter behavior a little bit. And it wasn't apparent to everyone else what these were. It wasn't apparent to me.
Doctors eventually diagnosed him with epilepsy and figured out it was being caused by a small brain tumor. They removed the tumor and cured his epilepsy.
And so we don't see much.
Now he was testing to see if I could qualify for the same surgery. Many don't. It was an exciting idea.
And then my life changed forever.